Consumer confidence, it came out yesterday and it's not looking good at all. Let's take a look. All right, this article from the conference board, it says the consumer confidence dropped sharply in February. I read this so you don't have to read the whole thing, but we'll get into the beginning where it says the consumer confidence index declined by 7 points in February to 98.3. And then it later goes on to say in February, consumer confidence registered the largest monthly decline since August 2021, which is a pretty big deal. We can continue going forward. Obviously, it's saying that people that are 35 to 55 are the ones that are the most pessimistic, which is obvious because we're the heart of the working class here. Here's the consumer confidence index. Where you see these gray lines, those are recessions. So every time you'll see a gray line, you'll see that's a recession. And if you take a look at it, it's obvious consumer confidence is down during a recession. Consumer confidence comes up as we're heading out of a recession. Consumer confidence is down during recession. Consumer confidence starts to head up as we head out of the recession. And right now it's showing consumer confidence at that 90 something, whatever it said it was. What was it? It was 98.3. And there it's going from there. All right. So, why would we think that consumer confidence is at a low, even though we just elected a brand new president? And typically, when we elect a brand new president, consumer confidence is at a high because you elect the man or woman that you wanted, and people are supposed to be excited about it. But we're showing declines 3 months in a row now of consumer confidence being down. Well, one good reason is that inflation is still a monster, right? Let's be real. Our wallets are feeling the squeeze. Prices are up. Grocery prices, they're still up. The gas tank, that's not getting any better. And let's be honest. People are worried, and rightfully so. If you want to head to economic uncertainty, there's a lot of chatter out there about the potential of recession. That has gone nowhere. That's got people on edge, plus the news about the potential trade issues and tariffs. It's hard to feel secure about the future when we're talking about tariffing everything, right? Now, if you're in it, you don't believe that we're going to tariff everything, but that's not what the rhetoric is saying. The rhetoric is saying tariff everything. You don't want to deal with us fairly, then we'll just tariff everything, then prices go up on everything. So people are worried on the personal side of spending, and they're worried even on the political side of the rhetorics. People saying, hey, we're just going to tariff everything and prices are going to go up everywhere. To be real, you got us talking about tariffs on China 10% regardless, and then we got Canada 25%, Mexico 25%. And what did both of those countries do? They said, okay, we'll tariff you. Consumer confidence not at an all-time high. So what does that mean to us when we're going or processing all this with consumer confidence? Well, for one, that probably means that we're going to do less spending. Just by the fact that we're not confident, so we want to keep a little bit more money in the bank. All right. That will probably also trigger some type of recession. Now, I've been saying we're going to go into recession for years. Obviously, somehow we haven't. I don't believe the numbers from the Biden administration, but let's just say that that's real. There's no recession. I don't know how we get out of a recession, and I think we're going to get into one eventually, but when consumer confidence is down, that means spending goes down, which means there is more of a possibility of a recession. And of course, that goes more into increased volatility. You got to expect more turbulence in the markets as investors react to the news. Investors are, for some reason, very reactionary versus long-term thinkers, and the markets react accordingly. But with all this being said, you got to remember, you cannot cook a few eggs without cracking some shells, or whatever that saying is. So right now, the administration is cracking shells across the board. If you guys remember, a ton of our should have researched this. A ton of our job creation was through two primary sectors: healthcare and government. And when government's one of the main primary reasons of job creation, that's very inflationary because very, very little government jobs create income. Like obviously the IRS creates income on a government level, and then the water department creates income on a municipal level. But on top of that, there's not much other government creating wealth, creating jobs in the government. So that's very, very inflationary when the government's one of the main hires in the country. And what's happening now is obviously Elon Musk and President Trump are trying to get rid of tons of government jobs because they know they've overhired to help keep job numbers up. We also got more drill baby drill, right? So that's going to take probably a year for us to start seeing more oil consumption or more oil producing so that we can allow for more consumption. And then more importantly, to sell to the rest of the world our oil. And then, of course, for as much as people hate Doge or Dodge or however you pronounce it, whenever you go in there and you start cutting jobs, you're going to make some mistakes. And apparently it looks like they've made some mistakes. But in the end, it all ends up working out. And a great way of killing inflation is to stop wasting money, mainly because it's money that we really don't have, or if we might have now, but we end up creating more money just to pay off the debt for other money. If we can balance a budget, which hasn't been done since I should have researched this, but I don't think since the early 2000s, that will really help in paving the way of killing inflation, which we have not been able to do since 2020 or 2021. And then there's foreign investment. We've already, the administration has already tapped multiple people that have guaranteed to invest billions of dollars in America to help create more jobs. Obviously, if you invest that type of money, it's to make more money, but you only do that with more people. And with more people comes more taxes, more jobs, more to the economy. So there is a strong plan in place. So do not panic. We've weathered storms like this before. We'll get through this. We do have to be smart with our money. We do have to stay informed. But we got to know, in order for change to happen, that means change has to happen. And it looks like we're in the middle of it now. And it's being represented with consumer confidence at a low.